Then the backbone of the winter broke. Game came into the country. I left them well supplied, and skipped. That was what made me an outlaw, Pied Bot. That!" He chuckled, and Peter heard the rubbing of his hands in the gloom. "Want to know why?" he asked. "Well, you see, I went over to the Free Traders, and this God the law don't take into account went with me, and we found the skunk alone. First I licked him until he was almost dead. Then, sticking a knife into him about half an inch, I made him write a note saying he was called south suddenly, and authorizing me to take charge in his absence. Then I chained him in a dugout in a place where nobody would find him. And I took charge. Pied Bot, I sure did. Everybody was on the trap lines, and I wasn't bothered much by callers. And I fed and clothed my tribe for 8 straight weeks, fed 'em until they grew fat. Boy, and Yellow Bird's eyes were bright as stars again. Then I brought Roach, that was his name, back to his empty post, and I lectured him and gave him another licking, and left." McKay rose to his feet. The first stars were peeping out of the velvety darkness of the sky, and Peter heard his master draw in a deep breath, the breath of a man whose lungs rejoice in the glory of life. After a moment he said, "And the Royal Mounted have been after me ever since that winter, Peter. And the harder they've chased me, the more I've given them reason to chase me. I half killed Beaudin, the government mail runner, because he insulted another man's wife when that man, my friend, was away. Then Beaudin, seeing his chance, robbed the mail himself, and the crime was laid to me. Well, I got even, and stuck up a mail sledge myself, but I guess there was a good reason for it. I've done a lot of things since then, but I've done it all with my naked fists, and I've never put a bullet or a knife into a man except Roach the Free Trader. And the funniest thing of the whole business, Pied Bot, is this. I didn't kill Jed Hawkins. Some day maybe I'll tell you about what happened on the trail, the thing which you and Nada didn't see. But now—" For a moment he stood very still, and Peter sensed the sudden thrill that was going through the man as he stood there in darkness. And then, suddenly, Jolly Roger bent over him. "Peter, there's 3 women we'll love as long as we live," he whispered. "There's my mother, and she is dead. There's Nada back there, and we'll never see her again." His voice choked for an instant. "And then there's Yellow Bird," he added. "It's 5 years since I fed the tribe. Maybe they've had more kids. Boy, let's go and see." End of chapter 9. Recording by Roger Moline.